Yeah, we're going to have to see how that transfers over into Vertigo, because some of the playstyle can be pretty similar in terms of how you spread out in those defaults, but we know he'd like to be aggressive, not only on the T side, but also CT as well, so really about which style comes out first.
Body's gone so aggro initially, but the flashbang is good, not good enough for him to get too many shots on him. Forrester, the only one to find one. In the meanwhile, Mir gets another, and it's Mir who has to continue defending from the stairs, actually having pushed forward earlier. Nice flick to adjust, and the bomb hasn't been recovered.
And ISO these fights, but very difficult. Entropiq can just group themselves up as well, wait for this player that rotates away from the A bomb site, and Alien. All about buying time and keeping these Heat players in check, make sure they don't have access to CT spawn as well. Mir will isolate a head, and all of a sudden it's just Afro trapped to the generator, still not able to get his hands on that bomb just yet, but finds Mir eventually, but caught on the reload. That's where Alien will strike. So Entropiq, despite the fact that they lose that opening man on the eventual B side wrap, those two B players able to lock it down.
It's another hot start for Mir. Entropiq have now also won all 3 pistol rounds in the map that have been played so far. I have to say, though, I'm a little bit surprised that Body doesn't end up falling earlier. He was fully blinded while he was on top of the connector, and he's still able to get away with 2 kills regardless. So
actually, it's actually quite funny, because when we were, we watched Heat at conference, they actually had won the majority of their pistols. So to see them win or lose so many, I suppose, in this matchup, bit of a surprise. A bit of a reliance that they have to get off to these hot starts that we know them for.
Oh, well, that hot start's going to be mighty cool, Michael, because Nickelback's come through and he is having a time of his life, which, of course, is not a Nickelback song. That's, Will I Am.
Oh, little angle offered up, but Alien won't allow any extra damage being done. Only 1 bullet sustained, and Entropiq do a swimming start here in the opening segments of this Vertigo. Thought Nickelback was dead for sure after the first 2 kills, but calm and collected.
Of course, he was
faster than reloading.
One of the big ones on Overpass as well. Second highest frags for him. Very high performer on the CT side, actually, when Forrester wasn't quite the demon that he was on T side. He was still pretty good, but obviously difficult to compare.
Oh, so much damage being done with the Body at the start of this round. Took some spam, ate a nade as well, and now losing Afro on the other side. These Extremities players haven't been doing too hot.
Oh.
Name like Heat, it's hard to stay away from temperature analogies.
Also hard to stay away from confusing them with Miami Heat. Does Heat mean something in French?
That is a good question. One that I do not have an answer for.
Yep, I can't find it on Google. It's Dutch for very warm.
Wow.
Okay.
Actually, somehow not surprising.
They do also have a fire logo in all fairness, so that might make a little bit of sense. Flashes forward and incendiaries down. Heat are very warm, but they don't like to burn, you know? Oh.
Heat logo looks eerily similar to the Strife logo. Flashpoint one as well.
And the Zapdos icon.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Alien, quick peek out, and the flashbang goes good. Lucky is dinked down to almost nothingness. Mara did have a nice little 5 HP round earlier on. Can he do the same? Ecstasies is making it so he doesn't have to. Bomb can be planted, and you're back to a 3-on-3. Lucky's been found.
So much damage being done. Yeah, Exorcist can't escape. Joko, all that remains, and one player being plucked out, just jumping up to on top of that super box. But these 2 players know exactly where Joko is. They don't have a Molotov to flush him out, though.
What? That's massive! Joko! That's a round of his life!
Unbelievable!
Gotta see a replay of that one.
That is unthinkable. He has 1 burst, fires off 2 shots, and each one finds its way to a head of an Entropiq player. Oh my goodness.
How do you even react to that? You just gotta give it to him.
I was so prepared for that to be 1 kill maybe, then some time bled out, but no, Joko just all business.
Well, Forrest has been able to make up for it at the very least with a kill and a lot of damage. So Heat are not quite out into green pastures yet. God damn.
Gonna be a hard one to rebound from, but I guess off to as good a start as they could get it. Still pretty close by as well. These Entropiq players ready to take these fights over at B ramp should HEET re-aggress. Not going there. 3 players grouping up.
God, Crowd wishes he was here with his grenade. Knight on the Nickelback does bring him a little bit lower, but sets up for Mir to quickly swing out. Doesn't notice the player boosted up. Instead, it's Lucky found out after trying to spam through XCs. Yes, please. Getting some snappy shots here so far, and a double to follow up as well. Just pushes through his own smoke, tries and uses it for the very narrow column. It's all about these individual plays. The question is, can Mir pull off one of his own, go for the quad to close out the round?
Yeah, 2 rounds over where Entropiq feel like they might have experienced some spacing issues, so Mir can somehow dig this one out of the hole. That would be a really great treat here for Entropiq, but Afro does find the timing, finds Mir in the sideline, and gets shot on the side as a result of it. HEET do bounce back immediately after winning that clutch round. Another one of these moments where it is an individual player that steps up. You highlight it's Afro in the previous round. This time it was XRC's round that smoke. Sealing in the flavor as well. Entropiq down in the dumps, down into pistols.
I think it was Joko in the previous round, but yeah, you're right. Well,
Yeah,
that's a great way to start things off.
Oh!
Oh no.
One of the pistol, and loses a fight because of it. Oh well.
This isn't Warcraft 3. You can't just type greed is good and get whatever you want.
To be able to escape with this weapon, it seems like HEET are spreading out to at least try and deny that. Now, they know there's a buy coming up, the following up round here for Entropiq anyway, so not the most of merits, but they're worthwhile. It means that they'll lose out on some extra utility here on the Entropiq side, very likely. Oh, wow, they're even dicking up their own players here on the side of HEET.
Well, I think Alien should be able to save this AK at the very least. Doesn't really look like anyone's nearby enough to take him down, even with all the narrow winding passageways of Vertigo.
Yeah, lose one AK, get your hands on another.
Regardless, though, Entropiq will not have the open next round.
Don't have the funds on anybody really to afford it. So just rifles across the board. The extra money that they save as a result of that rifle does mean that they have every bell and whistle possible.
No kit.
While hovering some extra cash, but yeah, no kit. And Nickelback could have afforded it as well.
Well, looks like he doesn't need it. Once you start off with a couple of big kills, and he's done it.
Down a man so early and no reciprocated damage onto the Entropiq players. The worst state of affairs. They've been very good at pulling these back by the HEET multi-kills. Individuals have been very sharp at finding the access needed to get their hands on those two.
Lucky dodges out that Molotov. Perfect timing for him. Crad as well will actually be retreating back into the smoke, trying to play off of it Afro nearby, and the one way that he has made for himself will lead to a 5-on-2 now being found. These multi-kills that you're mentioning, Michael, better start coming up soon.
It doesn't look likely in a round like this, unfortunately.
Well, Nickelback's going to be swinging around. XRCs has started off, and with another kill found, it is a multi. So, you know what?
It happened, kind of, I guess.
Condition.
Yeah. Need to give them something to scream about. No round, though. Really cheeky move there from Crowd. Just the fact that there was this smoke front side of the site and just in front of those sandbags. As soon as he passed over, I think the assumption was that he just escaped with his life. It hung around for a little bit extra, and HEET had no idea. Full commitment here from HEET, even though they don't have ideal weapons across the board. They do have the utility to make this work. Might just be a faster paced play, a bit of a burst in towards this mid and B position, see if they can overwhelm. But there's two players kind of hovering for this type of contact.
Mir's holding for this boost up. Oh, he's ready. Body is dead. The rights. Quick nade forward. Okay, Mir. That's That's one of those ones you might end up regretting later on, because Forrester is now completely isolated. The flashes are going to differentiate between him and Elian. Elian's turning around as well. Forrester doesn't realize it, but there's a jumping spot from Lucky Elian to cover off the assault and stop the B bomb site from being occupied immediately by the terrorist side. But you still have to be careful of your Nickelback, because he is being walked right into. Cannot pull his knife out, and he isn't going to. Seemed like that was the only way they're going to lose it, but Joko's been solid.
Hell of a shot there from Joko, and once again his hands on that AWP, but that will be his undoing. Once again, the weapons being dropped there, a little too tantalizing for a couple of these HEET players. It results in an easy frag. This one a little bit worse than the other, just because it had to be him to clutch. Entropiq keep 2 alive. They keep their hands on that AWP as well. Even just slowing things down here for HEET, it did feel a little bit nerve-wracking. If we were watching from Elian's perspective for the most part. Having to be worried about the potential of a mid-wrap as well, still lurking by the wayside. But Entropiq players did move in to at least secure that for Elian, so all he had to worry about was what was in front of him. Even then, it didn't matter. Joko hit a really lovely shot. Rated pistols, that's it. Some nades, and they're going to try and nade the hell out of the sandbags. Nickelback tanking a lot of it, but still standing strong in front of the smoke. Had Crowd on the high ground as well, and he'll finish off the job. They had this planned from the get-go. They wanted to fight for that ramp control.
The nade trade.
Yep. Throw 1, receive 4.
Stops. Well, regardless, HEET would like to be maybe getting some faster trades out as well, sooner rather than later. So far, every time that Entropiq gets a kill, very often they've been able to retreat afterwards. CT side starting 5v4 untraded early on is a difficult thing to counter out, and with the push, you see the exact same thing happen again.
Not what they came for, but giving up ramp for free is never a healthy prospect here for Entropiq. Elian's ult does strike over at B. They're trying to make some progress and some headway here on the HEET, but now that these smokes are down, rotates are coming in pretty quickly here for Entropiq. They still have all that ramp control over at A as well, so they can sit pretty, but look how close Lucky has got.
Oh, Lucky's going to be found out with a Molotov in his hand. Elian now swings forward. They will not let them plant the bomb. Elian keeps fighting. 4 for him, and the slow start he had on Overpass has been completely left behind on Vertigo.
Yeah, this is not the success that he was having on that first map, but even just the disrespect to just challenge round the other side of the generators with his Tech 9 out. You see, Elian's feeling confident. 11-3 at the moment. Died the least. Tied for the most frags. So that's where you want to be.
Money's looking good for the CTs as well off the back of that. Forrester the only one who would need a drop in case they are unable to save a gun or two. And for HEET, this is one of those points where, hey, you got a lot of miracles in Overpass. Better put your hands together and pray.
We know Entropiq are a hungry team as well. They've been hovering around their same placings at these bigger tournaments. They usually do quite well at the ESL Challenger League as well. But changes needed to be made, and right now, looking pretty good against one of France's finest.
Actually, Finest is an Israeli organization, but it's okay. I'll forgive you for that one. Common mistake.
Wait, which one's an Israeli organization?
Finest, didn't you know that? Team Finest?
Oh, I see. Oh, no, yeah, I mean, I understood. I just wasn't sure where you were taking my words.
You know, you said they're one of France's finest. Oh, brutality! And a follow-up on top of it. Suddenly that miracle might be about to be delivered. Mir needs to save the day. Moves forward, grenade in as well. Juicy one at that. Afro's going to be feeling his legs hurt. Knees giving way is Mir, though, as he will drop down. And Elian now being forced to regress forward. They keep it even with the help of the grenade, but now with the rifle recovered, Exorcist waiting for the push through. Elian is one missed shot away from this round being given away as well.
Yeah, and Heater falling off of it. Elian reaggressing like this alongside his teammate with the rifle does mean that There has been some information gathered here for Entropiq, and the fact that Heat have walked all this way. Entropiq are going to be a little bit louder about their rotate, but Heat might not be within earshot to hear that it's both of them.
Entropiq. They've got a Molotov as well, and without anything to extinguish it, you need to get some kills in fast. The bomb can be denied just with that. Run boost is nice, I suppose, but with a molly down, you can't plant the bomb right back at him, says Lucky. It is nicely placed, but it's a little bit of a gap now. A one-on-one. Bomb needs to be planted. No time left. Lucky's going to be going for the gamble instead. Forrester just takes a deal and wins it outright. If that Molotov doesn't fail, could be a different story.
Well, the Molotov thrown at Elian. Yeah, I mean, it does fail, but Elian was still trying to get away.
True.
Did the job to some extent. Flames were tickling him on a certain number of angles, and I wasn't sure that he understood that it had missed as heavily as it did. All good. Entropiq still pushing the round. He definitely have had their chances. Another one of those half-buy rounds that looks far more convincing than it should.
Oh.
This is the nade exchange over at A.
Exorcist has found Elian.
The angle at mid and doesn't succeed. Very risky fight going for that because falling back is nigh impossible.
Yeah.
That box far too permeable to allow the retreat. Didn't see it, but I just described how it should play out.
But with great risk comes great reward.
It can do. Thing is, middle hasn't really been a problem area for Entropiq. We saw just how prepared Mir was for the boosted fight.
Oh,
Push down B.
This could be very rough. They're expecting him. Joko clears it out. Forza loves to play that angle. And if you've done your homework, you're going to know that. Mir now has to defend all on his own. He's been really good in a few of these circumstances, but with Joko slapping him on the side, not a chance. CTs are being unraveled as we speak. Let's not forget their economy was pretty hale and hearty before. Now no longer so. Grad likely going to want to save this.
Yeah, saving this rifle has a lot of value. The money for Forrester is not great, so would need a teammate to help fund him. Doesn't seem like Heat will be able to find where he is. Great move from Heat. I mean, the fact that they're able to punish that mid pressure and then still have a bit of a lurking presence while simultaneously aggressing into that B bomb site. You saw how great those flashes were at stopping Mir getting any sort of sight line. Just couldn't dodge the flurry of flashes that came his way. Once the first one got him, the next ones were almost guaranteed to hit. He wasn't sure where they were coming from. Now they kind of push them onto the precipice here on the side of Entropiq. The fact that this clear is so well placed as well there from Joko.
I'm a little bit surprised that Mir's that far behind Forrester, though, in a position where you can't really do anything about it. Like, it's a very strong angle for Forrester. Let's not make a mistake. That smoke's gone.
Off the map.
Yeah. I was really impressed with how fast he threw it, and then I just saw it. Well, that's just not a thing anymore.
Remember, folks, it's not about the speed of your smoke. It's about the way you use it.
Except for the Mirage window smoke. The speed does matter.
Yeah, if you can land it, yeah.
Yeah. Nickelback right now with the MP9 could be a crucial man because Afro's about to take the peek right into him, and Nickelback comes out on top with Crad having won his duel as well. A big advantage for Entropiq.
They lost Elian so early on into this round as well. Really surprised that Heat decided to push the issue, but still going 1-for-1 as well in the follow-up duel. Nickelback does get his hands onto a rifle for his efforts. Two players still grouped up here for Heat. It's the two most experienced players as well. It's about their G2 stints. Forrester, does he get cleared?
Oh, he should be, but with so little time left, you can't even go for the quick wide swing player either. You're just so worried, and Forrester is going to make quick work of both of them. So, possibly the most challenging round Entropiq was going to find. This is where they are able to reaffirm their economy and acceleration. Nickelback's been fantastic.
Yeah, throughout the whole series. And having some really consistent performances. All his other stars may come and go, but Nickelback remains the constant.
Oh, Krat from the side, waiting for the peek forward. Joko almost discovered through the gap in that smoke, but Krat's got to be careful. Hippity hoppity, it's Easter. And he's got to get away before his eggs are ruined. Forrester, in the meanwhile, well, he's just found Bodhi.
Yeah, Bodhi was trying to make use of a one-way smoke, but not to be. At least there's something to call from the early stages of all this aggression. Lucky as well being found. He is all clear here from Entropiq. Heat need to progress forward over at A because those B players, they're notorious for getting aggressive.
Quick kill for Afro to find. Alien has now gone for 4 rounds in a row without being able to find a single frag, and it is getting worse and worse. A position of... Ooh, almost finding it. A position where they should have the advantage. They're set up for success, but they're just losing player after player. Joko is the Grim Reaper right now. The one disadvantage is that they don't have any smoke, so they can't really cut off Mir in this position. Mir will have the chance to try and find these players, can catch them off, but the double peek into the angle is good enough. Ecstasy is left with 4 HP, and he is indifferent to that.
As soon as the smoke was beginning to fade and Mir wasn't round the other side of it already, just so honed in on the potential rotate. Moves from Heat be able to find these isolated duels, but once again it feels like they are very staggered, very separate, without the ability to win those fights. Then we'd see Entropiq have a much more convincing CT side hold. They're not setting up themselves up for trades or isolating these duels in such a way that it makes it more difficult for Entropiq to win those fights. It's just simply hit shot faster. Right now it's been working out in the tail end of this first half. Entropiq's money is not great, but they bought what they could into this round. They're already down this man, but heavy presence in middle does lead something different. You might not anticipate this.
Mir's gotta be so careful. Peek forward, spots out the legs. Body can't do anything about this, and Mir will just retreat. Let's not forget CT side. I know I said that they reaffirmed their economy, but this is very much their last limb. If they lose this one, he should have a free 7, and Elian now 5 in a row, where he's been unable to find any impact whatsoever. Oh, what a double swing.
Yeah, Afro trying so hard to just deal with the one player that he knew was there, but Forrester over at B, the flash did nothing. Landed round the wrong side of the generators. It was made for the default position instead, so a man advantage for Entropiq.
Force is going to be low, but it's through the box, and Mir has got a gap in the smoke. He just plays off of it and backs off. Now it's 3-on-1. Almost no risk of this round being lost. XSC's picking up the AWP might make it even more difficult for him. Trying to get the wallbangs out, but no one to show themselves off. 15 seconds, and they know that the bomb cannot be recovered and planted in time. There just isn't that chance, and with the T-side economy being low as well, XSC's got a choice to make, and he has had it taken away. They will be able to buy into the next round, but with certain handicaps in weaponry and utility.
I feel like there were so many of these opportunities here for Heat, but that one flash, that reliance on it for it to have done its job. Great move from Forrester. Not only not getting blind, but then finding the kills afterwards. It's all about timing there. He swings a little bit earlier, that flash full blinds him, and Heat probably just take over the site.
Alan's just waiting for the peaks to come through. He's finally able to find a quick kill, but trades are fast. The problems that Heat were having, they have been remedied, and as fast as the trade was, that's the speed they'll be taking to the A-bomb site. Forrester not letting them get onto B, and Krat is cutting off their rotational axis as well. Still, B side opened up, and with a smoke down, Nickelback peeks in from behind, spots out the player before the cross comes in. And it's all down to Afro. Laying in wait inside the smoke. If he can find the timing, that would... Oh, no! Afro! Shades on, problems gone, and so is the half. We'll be back after a break, because he sure as hell needs it.
You love it? you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
How the mighty fall, quite literally. We've just seen... Well, we've just seen a bit of a fall from grace, I think it's safe to say, to end out the first half. Entropiq on 10, and we're going to have to wait to see whether the Heat have anything up their sleeves. Mir starts off with some quick little kills down in mid, and the explosion to B is going to be in Lucky's head. Still left with 1 HP though.
Yeah, surprising this guy has been able to escape with that sliver of HP, but Entropiq know that they've done some damage at the very least, and it's all about whether they read into the Heat reset, because rotates were making their way over from that A bomb site over to B quite quickly. Losing that extra presence in middle as well does mean that they have to be worried about the potential for a wrap at either of these bomb sites. Right, Entropiq redistributing. They haven't used any of their utility yet, so still have a Molotov for the sandbags as well, so these will be early indicators for Heat that the A side is being pursued by Entropiq, but whether they can stop it or not through all the utility is going to be a whole different story.
Well, with entries like that, that story is going to be a quick one. Lucky still with the dual leads out, ready and waiting. The single HP on him doesn't really give me anything much in the way of faith, and oh my god, he's got company. All these players are so low. How are you going to do anything? Heat's got basically nothing across the two of them combined. You're just waiting for these smokes to fade, and Mir on the backstab will have secured it regardless. All 5 players kept alive for Entropiq.
Yeah, Lucky, I think even Lucky supporting Cast over at that A bomb site got dinged through the smoke as well, so much damage being done by the spam here by Entropiq. It's so difficult. Once those smokes are down, once they know that you're low as well, next to impossible. Every single pistol from Entropiq being won.
Yeah, that's one way to win out a series. Potentially, of course. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
That's the thing. I'm talking about HEET usually coming into these games pretty good. You know, they usually have a lead going into their first or going into the second half, and for them to see such a stark difference in this series against Entropiq does speak volumes. You know, Entropiq are a team that have been situated in their place for quite some time. Of course, HEET coming back from a recent LAN. Sometimes it can be hard to reset your focus on, but this is important. You know, this secures another spot that conference for the following season. Should you be able to make it all the way?
Oh, Cran now getting onto the bomb side as well. 5-on-2 very quickly. None of the force by shenanigans that have given HEET so many opportunities will be prevailing any longer. Lucky as well, soon to fall. Also, just a quick note. Of course, in the previous round, Lucky was not dinged through the smoke. I think he was dinged through the wall on B site. The little cardboard wall over here.
Oh, yeah, no. I wasn't saying Lucky got dinged. I was saying his teammate behind him
I got
dinged.
confused for a second.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
I got
all good.
Fair
Everybody
enough.
was dinged, basically, on the side of HEET. That's what was annoying.
Everyone's so low. That's
Sometimes
where
it's nades, sometimes it's headshots through smoke. What can you do?
That's where you wish you had a USB on the T side.
Or if you could buy head armor. Oh man, the advantage you'd have.
In all fairness, if you could buy head armor, I'd much rather buy a MacDan.
Isn't that $50 more than just head armor?
Look, if we're cheating to get extra money, I may as well cheat a little bit more.
I'm just rounding up to the nearest K, you know. Better than the thought I had earlier. I was thinking, like, why don't we have nade skins?
Did you actually think that?
Yeah, I did for a moment.
See, one thing I would be okay with is custom bomb explosions, maybe?
Okay, that one, yeah, no.
Like,
that's fine.
I don't know if
I'm
you've
fine
seen
with that.
the Rocket League goals stuff.
I have.
Yeah, so something like that I was thinking. But regardless, I think what we're wondering about is what these USPs can get up to so far. Not very much, although 2 kills is something to write home about. And suddenly an opportunity XSCs with the Deagle has been a bit of a force, but not this time.
3 straight for Entropiq, and given that they had this 10-5 lead coming into the half, there's not much more to go. HEET's first gun round is around the corner, so we need to see success hit early here for the French side, lest this be a one-sided affair. Them picking into Vertigo may have been a mistake.
Putting it lightly.
New overpass were going to be quite close. Well, Dust 2 made the most sense, but try to dodge out the anticipated veto from random punter like me, as well as maybe the Entropiq guys as well.
I thought it would be nuke, to be honest.
Yeah, it could have been another way that they go, but
Yeah.
Vertigo has not been the most rewarding.
Well, maybe Lucky can still help put up a show. Joko's going to be caught out and almost brought down. So much damage already to the CT side. Lucky's gone by, neglected, but trade is good. Problem is body's kill has still made it difficult, even more so when you've got XSCs finding even more.
Another one of these situations where these HEET players are so damn low, but at least one on the side of Entropiq is in a similar boat. While pulling the resources there in time at the moment, they're still a bit static here on the side of HEET. Not sure if they're committing all the way to this B-side plant, but now that they hear the dialing of the digits, they'd call in for that flank from Afro as well.
They are very low, and with Cran having this flashbang, he can set up for a quick push from Nickelback as well. Question is, what is the call going to be? Afro's still so far away, man. Nickelback. That smoke's going to be fading soon. Afro, by the time he makes it here, Cran is going to be in a position to take the duel, but Cran falls with this. It's all on Nickelback. Here's the first person dropping. Won't be able to isolate the duel without exposing himself to body. And with that, it's a quick recovery. The kill on Afro was necessary.
Yeah, if they wanted a chance in it, 100%. At the very least, do significant damage. Give the best possible chance for Nickelback to find some success. Just too much to ask for. Pretty solid stuff, though. I think the fact that HEET were willing to slow things down and just make sure that they got the correct read as well. They knew that that was an important rifle round for them. They didn't jump the gun, try super hard to retake the bomb site before they knew that Entropiq even wanted that bomb site in the first place. You see that they're still keeping themselves in a good state of mind.
Oh, that's a play gone by completely unnoticed. Afro and Body start off strong. These entries on the CT side are going to be rough to deal with. Of course, this is how Entropiq was able to get their initial few rounds as well. They were just always able to find that first kill on CT side without being traded. Exorcise as well. Aggression.
Where is he
will
looking?
Be punished. I'm not sure at all. Honestly, I think he was just trying to figure out where the sound was coming from.
Or like where his teammates were placed, you know, trying to look at them through the walls.
Radar can be confusing. Of course, they don't get the fancy radar we do.
They don't get the multi-layered one, so yeah, I think just trying to get an idea of where his players were situated, but has opened up an opportunity here for Entropiq to at least secure themselves a plant. 2-on-4 in the retake isn't exactly the easiest, especially if Alien can pick them off one by one, even going to the low ground. Alien's found 2 in an instant.
With the flashbang to the retreat as well, Alien knows he cannot reveal himself in this position. Body's unable to notice Forrester moving back as well. Molotov in. Alien still fighting. Even gets a tag and retreats back without dying. Alien's doing it all on his own. Afro now in a one-on-one opportunity given, but might be stolen right back. Forrester turns. He even turned from the fake flash to the pistol throw, but it's still a massive round. Alien bringing it right back.
That one mistake there from Exorcise, and it feels like it opens up far too much. He was the solitary player that was in charge of that B side. There was no one there fast enough to rotate, and the immediate punishment by Alien. Oh dear, that might be just a mistake too big to plug up. Entropiq are already so close to the finish.
Oh, Forrester found. And I'm starting to get worried about whether these early advantages are going to matter if you open up opportunities like that on Entropiq, even in a 2v5 or rather 2v4.
No, it was 2v5 prior to that.
Okay,
so.
never mind then.
Yeah. That's mental.
Really does remind you, even if he's having a slightly drier series than normal. 18 and 12, that's drier than normal, oh my goodness. But
yeah, you can really heat up at a moment's notice.
Oh, good grenade. Flashbang as well. This AWP is not going to be able to retreat at all. Needs to find the kill. Afro's good for the first, and he's got cover, but doesn't need it. Just wants to aggress through. It's all down to saving weapons, and they have saved them all. CT side, if there's going to be a way back, this is going to be it.
Yeah, getting money stability, also knocking your opponents down to just pistols. About as much as you can ask for in terms of breathing room. They can afford no more faults, no more errors. I like the aggression there from HEET and the fact that they were willing to make that call so early into the round as well. It wasn't as though they had this heavy read. They just wanted to see if they can get themselves set up for it. Actually, don't just up with the pistols. I didn't see that Entropiq just snap bought up what little they could. Of course, for Galil, everyone else on the upgrades. Those are the fights you want if you're Entropiq. And get these headshot angles, a little bit of off angles ones as well. But unfortunately for them, he just have the better weapons to do it. Don't hit the headshot, it's kind of a no-go.
Where's...
Leg's broken.
Yeah. Never a good thing. Look, with the kind of utility that CTs have, there should realistically be no way for them to lose this round. That's why I'm getting a little bit concerned about this aggressive position coming out from Afro. Molotov there as well to cover his retreat. He's going to take a lot of damage. Survives with barely any HP. Body as well. Out practically in the open, and Exorcise' death is followed up by his teammate falling. Entropiq, they have taken advantage of this aggression, but with 25 seconds left, they are still going to have to close. Oh, what a boost! The timing, the call, the read. Everything is played to perfection, and HEET suddenly pushed back to a save.
Oh man, these players were so low, and to have all of their healthy players take these fights and lose outright. Heartbreaking. Almost on its way to B anyway, so as soon as that boost came in and dealt with Lucky, who was full HP, you know, he was ready to take those fights, he was anticipating a B play. And this round went up in flames. This was all for the force buy as well. Entropiq took a risk. They know that this could have really opened up the door for HEET to come up on the comeback.
Whoa.
Mir just firing a warning shot at his teammate. Even though Nickelback was very low, you know, if a stray bullet hit,
yeah,
would have been enough.
Reminds me of the old Rob's killing Sonny on Train Clip. It was one of his
throwback.
Yeah, one of his early professional matches. Peeks out, perfect free fire. Great call from Forrester.
Yeah, that was a rough round to lose. He'd had all that advantage, and they didn't want to cede control, and it's to their own detriment. Essentially, last round, you know, they've got 8 opportunities here on the side of Entropiq to close this one out. HEET at the moment have been a little bit hot and cold, and more on the cold side. The CT side hasn't had a chance to get going, especially after a disruption like that, and with a Forrester entry so quick. Looking like the hottest of finishes either. Lucky gone. He's had a pretty poor performance this map, but just what he hasn't been able to do, Exorcise has, I think, impressed. So there's one less player to guard either of these sites here on the side of HEET, and Entropiq aren't finished. They haven't set out their master plan just yet.
We've seen how comfortable they are playing in these late round situations, just relying on that experience and the comfort in their aim. There's no player being revealed, and its body to just be peeked into despite having boosted up. Krad finds him, and Krad's not done yet. Spots out a second player as well. They've made the call. Time to go over towards the B bomb side. Exorcise better put up a show. They're pushing through the smoke, and an M4A1 really could come into play here. Good for 2 so far. Molotov has been missed as well. Trying to fade away. Will be able to do so. So much space made. Exorcise is stopping them all on his own.
And now he's got support, so it doesn't have to be him all by himself. They set up a boost as well. Flash in far too deep, but Mir gets the double anyway. And it has to be Exorcise to deliver. 1 HP.
Oh, no.
One more bullet, all that's needed. And Krad doesn't have the time to get his hands on this bomb and retreat or take the fight either. Might have just dialed in these digits in the nick of time.
Oh,
and now Exorcise left in the clutch. He has to deliver on this site.
Exorcise thought that there wasn't time, so he ends up retreating as well. There is no utility available to him. Nothing he can do but just to defuse. If the grenade finds him, yeah, that's not going to work either. Fakes out the defuse once. Krad, flashbang overhead as well. Krad's played this perfectly.
Calling his bluff.
He has just completely outplayed him. Krad wins out the round, wins out the game, wins out the series. They will proceed through within the lower bracket.